Hey, in today's video, I want to show you how you can play the bass guitar faster using a really cool exercise inspired by the legendary Stevie Wonder. I'll see you inside the lesson. Hey, it's James here from eBassGuitar, and about 15 years ago or so, me and my band Metropolis, we used to do this great gig in central London called Dover Street. It was fantastic because we always ended up with so many stories from it, most of which are completely unrepeatable on this YouTube channel. But the great thing about this gig was we got to play a bunch of soul funk tunes on a regular basis. And one of those tunes was Do I Do by Stevie Wonder, which has this really challenging unison passage in the middle, which sounds like this. Now, what's going on in that passage is there are groupings of 4 notes which are displaced. But this concept of displacement led me onto a bunch of ideas, and I'm going to show you one of those today. And I call this the triplet pentatonic formula, where we're going to be displacing groupings of 3 notes. And this is really, really powerful to build your speed and your dexterity, but also create some credible real-world fills. So just before we hit the lesson content, I asked you last week, what was your very first bass guitar? And we have had loads and loads of responses to that question. So this week, I would love to ask you, what was your very, very first amplifier? Mine was a Laney Linebacker 30, which was this combo, which was 30 watts with a 10-inch speaker. I would love to know what yours was. Please let me know in the comments below. The reality is there's a bunch of different ways you can build your speed on the bass guitar. So I'm sure you're familiar with exercises like this, called the 1 finger per fret exercise, or scales as well, which are all good, credible ways of building your speed up. But one of the things is we don't tend to play these very often out in the real world. So what I like to do is create exercises from patterns that we're likely to play when we're out on gigs or just jamming at home. So everything we're covering today is based upon the G minor pentatonic scale. So first of all, I want to go through that with you. So the notes of the scale are a G, a B flat, a C, a D, an F, a G, a B flat, and a C. So we're going to catch all of the notes we can of the G minor pentatonic in the 3rd position on the bass guitar. Also, just remind yourself of the fingering as well. So it's 1 4 1 3 1 3 1 3, and then of course come back down again. So once you've got that scale under your hand, I want to show you what I call the descending triplet pentatonic formula. So we're going to start at the top of the scale like this on the C, and we're going to play in groupings of 3. So we are going to go C, B flat, G. That's our first grouping. Then we're going to go B flat, G, F like that. And then we are going to go G, F, D like that. And then our next grouping is F, D, C. And then our next grouping and final one that we're going to look at is D, C, B flat, like so. So we have 5 of these groupings, and I want you to practice them very slowly, one by one, like this. Just out of time to begin with. Like so, and do that round and round until you're really comfortable, then put it in time very slowly. And once you start putting it in time, what I would like you to do is accent the first of every 3 notes so it pops out a little bit. Like so. And so once you're really comfortable with that, is what I want you to do is appreciate the rhythmic displacement of this now. So we're going to play this as 16th notes. So 1 2 3 4, da 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 da. So we've got 16 of these particular notes that we can place per bar. Now these are groupings of 3. So the math works out, we end up with 5 groups of 3, and then we're going to leave that last 16th note as a rest, and that will give us a little bit of time to recover. So I want to show you this in action now with a backing track over a G minor chord, so you can hear this just as a lick in time with the displacement. Listen out for those notes that when I'm popping out the accents, and also listen out for that little rest at the end of the bar to begin with. So this was what it sounds like in context and in time at 80 beats per minute. So even as an exercise in itself, to me that sounds super musical and is so much more fun than a lot of the other typical bass guitar exercises out there. You can really hear that displacement too, because the first 4 groupings of 3 don't line up with the beat. It's not until we get to beat 4 that it actually hits the 4th beat of the bar dead central again. So you get this really cool rhythmic effect. But I want to make this even more musical now, and I want to make this into a 2-bar groove. So we're going to start off with a typical bass line which sounds like this. So that's going to be our fundamental groove, and then in the second bar we're going to put this lick in. So we're going to end up with this. So I want to show you what this sounds like in context. All of the backing tracks we're using today are available over in the backing track vault for BassLab Plus members over at eBassGuitar, so make sure you download those. Also, if 80 beats per minute is too fast to begin with, slow it down even further so it's 50 or 60 beats per minute. The most important thing is to get to the point where you can play it really in time. So guys, if you're enjoying this lesson, I would love to ask you to subscribe to the eBassGuitar channel. There's a red button somewhere around this video. We release a lesson every single week, and we've just clocked up 20,000 subscribers, and so I'm super keen to keep sharing great real-world bass information aimed at the beginner to intermediate bass guitar player to keep this channel growing. So please make sure you hit that red button and the bell icon, which is somewhere around the screen, so you'll be the first to know when a new lesson goes live. So you're probably wondering where this concept can go, because this is literally just the tip of the iceberg. So to finish off this lesson, I want to just plant an idea in your mind. Is once you've got this initial descending fill down, like that, is why not put it through the other 5 pentatonic shapes. I'm happy to make a new lesson about this to go into depth about how this works. If you're interested, let me know in the comments below if you'd like that. But the second G minor pentatonic shape is this. We could take it through. Oh, let me try that again. Like that, slow it down. And then the third pentatonic shape, like so, and then the 4th pentatonic shape, and then of course there's the 5th pentatonic shape up here. And this is a great way of learning the fretboard and also improving our finger speed and dexterity by playing the G minor pentatonic in different patterns and permutations across the neck. So I'm going to try this with the backing track. I'm going to push up the tempo a little bit now to 95 beats per minute so you can hear what this sounds like sped up, and I'm going to go through those 5 different pentatonic variations so you can hear the fun which we can have with this. And don't forget, if you'd like me to take this part of the lesson apart, let me know in the comments below. So guys, that's the end of today's bass guitar lesson. Don't forget to download that free PDF so you can see everything we're discussing today written out in standard notation and tab. Also, if you're looking to develop your technique right from the ground upwards, make sure you check out the Essential Technique course over at eBassGuitar.com. This is part of the Bass Lab Plus membership, and you can try this out today 100% free for 14 days. There's a link in the description below, so if you're looking to develop that real world technique so you can play the songs and bass lines you love right from the ground upwards, make sure you click the link in the description below. Cheers, I've been James from eBassGuitar.com. I will catch you next week.